Welcome to my solar addiction. Today's video: wire-away install and wiring runs.
So this is how my wiring trough is going to go underneath here to connect these things together.
Today's video is sponsored by Signature Solar.
Just wanted to see how things were going to line up. All part of the planning before doing. So the game plan is we're going to run conduit from each one of these. One's going to be power, one's going to be the communication. That's going to go to the wiring trough at the bottom. They're going to loop down underneath. We'll do the same thing with battery number 2 coming off here, going into the conduit box. Those will run up through here to connect here for the terminals for the batteries. Want power to come through for one here and power for another one to come through here. I'm going to need another hole here for the power going to the SYN. So I'm going to do a hole here. So this will be PV now because I'm going to be running power, comms, power to SYN, need PV. All right, so I'm about to do the hole punches in the conduit box. So I made this little template so that once I pull the trough out of there to cut the holes in it, I'll at least have the spacing right. And I did the same thing over here. That's the possible holes I'm going to use because I'm not going to use this big old 3-incher because I don't have 200 amp service. Here's our templates, here's our marks. Shaving. With the little guy so that the bigger hole punches can come down. Level. All right, so I got my holes ready for my conduit. So I've got all of these in that I think I'm gonna do because this is so tight underneath there. I don't think I can get that other 3/4 in there. It's not gonna make it. going to put in these conduits for me to run my wires into the battery. from the conduit box, we ran into the problem of when we go to screw this on and we can go turning this way, we're going to run into the other connector that's already there. You have to extend this out. After a little bit of thinking, came up with a little solution here with 3 parts. We've got a male adapter for a 3/4 inch. We've got a gender changer for a 3/4 inch and a little piece of 3/4 inch pipe. You slip that into there, this into here, screw that onto here. Of course, we're going to use cement to put it all together before we actually attach it. But then you can go right on the end there and we can run our wires through and connect it to the wiring trough in the back. As you can see, we have it already set up for the second run. And it's just a matter of putting this little piece together, running the conduit, and then wiring it up. So we've got our little special connector here. We're going to go ahead and put that puppy in. Okay, we got our little piece of pipe. Get one hand in over here. This hand over here. Secure it over there. Over here. Got to undo that. They're going to connect right there. All right, so now we're doing some wiring up here of the Growatt 11.4 inverter and the SYN automatic transfer switch. This cable here coming down and going into the side of this wiring trough, and that is going to be going to my load connections, which is going to be up in here. Now this is my grid connections. They're going to go there. And I need to run another cable from the inverter to the SYN coming up through these. The ground. How is this neutral going to fit in there, though? Down. Phillips screwdriver. All right. L1 in. Not coming out. All right, L1 neutral, L2 and ground connected on the Growatt and the SYN. Pull and push. There we go. And they coming out. That's not coming out. Our connections to our inverter, neutral, the ground, and the L1, L2. We've got L1, L2 going to our load panel, our ground and our neutral going to our load panel. And these are going to be our grid connections, which are going to connect probably close to the end. And here we are over on the inverter. We've got L2, neutral, L1, and the ground connected. And now we need to do some battery connections. All right, so we're going to connect our battery cables. We've got, this is actually a ground. That's why I've got it wrapped with green tape. This one is as well. And then we've got our positive, negative for the battery on both batteries. And we're going to connect them here. This is our battery ports. One's going to go here, one's going to go here, and our grounds are going to go over here. Now, I already went ahead and put ferrules on these two, positive and negative. Didn't put a ferrule on here because I tried it with a ferrule trying to get it into this little bitty bus bar, and I couldn't do it. But without it, I can get all the strands in there. It's not going to be a problem. It's a ground. But I do have ferrules on the positive and negative, and I need to do these right here so we can see how we did that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to strip our wire a little bit. There's one. There's two. And it's going to slip right on the end there. Grab our crimper. You could slip it inside of here first and then slip it on. Either way works. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the first one. This is going to slide up in here into Phillips. Going to go ahead and tighten that up. Give it a little pull. There it goes. So those are two grounds. I know they're white wires. Normally that's neutral, but I've got them taped with the green tape to show that they're grounds. This can be our positive. They don't bite. Cannot get them to bite. Experiment. Going to try this negative without any ferrule at all because I could not get it to bite, and now I can. So I'm going to take the ferrules off because I can't get it to bite with the ferrules on. It's probably because I'm using this Romex, maybe. I don't know. If I used maybe some softer stranded wire, maybe it'd be different. Put our positive in. There it goes. And that baby's in there. Negative. And it's in. And a positive. Positive and our negative on one battery, positive, negative from the other battery, and these are our two grounds going there. Okay, so I think I know why I was having this problem putting the ferrules on this 8-3 cable. This is an image of what 8-3 cable looks like while it's still in the sheath. It's 3 conductors of 8 AWG or 8 gauge wire. They're 19 strands apiece. And if you look, you could see that they're fairly thick, so there's only 19 strands. You can see how each one of those copper wires are so much thicker than what you would see on like battery cable, where it's almost like hair. The ferrules are not sticking to this 19 strand cable because it just doesn't have enough to grab on, I guess. I don't know for sure, but that's my thinking process here. I think that's what the problem is. So this would be battery cable and 8 gauge. You can see it has many more strands of copper wires running through it. 266 strands versus 19 strands. So I think if I would have used battery cable, I wouldn't have had the problem with the ferrules. But now that I've used this 8-3 cable, I want to see if it'll work. And if I have any issues, I will put the other cable in there and rerun the battery cables. But that's my explanation of what I think's going on. Based on the specs of what the wires are capable of, the amperage rating, 8-3 cable should work fine. I had some laying around. Instead of buying more cable, I thought I'd try to use that.
Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed our video.